Hello, I'm Michael Glass from the Traders Cultures Analysis team, and we'd like to welcome you to our webinar on how to overcome your fears of trading. Before we begin, we always like to start off with our disclosures, which simply are: any symbols you see today should not be referred as a trader recommendation. No matter what form of investing you choose, stock, forex, futures, options, there is a level of risk associated with them. You can lose money. The strategy we show today are for informational purposes only. Future results are not guaranteed. And finally, most importantly, any investment decision you make is solely your own responsibility. Trade at your own risk. So I always like to start off with some type of quote or cartoon to kind of get us into the mindset of what today's really about. And this one simply says, fear is only as deep as the mind allows. And that really goes straight to what I believe is the answer to overcoming your fears as a trader. The fears, we all have them. We all have emotions. We all have things and hang-ups and baggage that we deal with. But the successful traders have systems and routines and habits in place to keep those fears and those emotions in check and stay disciplined to execute their trading plan. So again, today we're going to talk about how you can become one of those successful traders who is able to conquer their fears. We're breaking it up into several facets. First, trader's mindset and how key a trader's mindset is to overcoming your fears. And then it's not only do we want to talk about what it is, we want to talk about the key components of a successful trader's mindset. And then we want to go to the common fears, those roadblocks that dominate that trader's mindset. And then, as I said earlier, what are the routines and habits of successful traders that will help us overcome those fears? And finally, how that will all help us build positive expectancy for our trading. So we're all familiar with the legend of the Holy Grail. I mean, that's what Raiders of the Lost Ark was pretty much all about. And it also exists in the trading world. And that's where most new traders believe that if they can just find the right trading system, that fancy DT indicator, that shiny bell in the window, that all their trades will be profitable and they'll be able to sit back and rake in all the moolah. But in reality, it's not about an indicator, it's not about a system. In his book, Trader Waiter Financial Freedom, Dr. Winthrop said that the Holy Grail is not a magical trading system. However, it is how those traders deal with that internal struggle between wins and losses. So many people think that trading is all about handling the losses and a string of losses, but it's also handling the greed that comes from winning. He goes on to say that to unlock this Holy Grail and to unlock the ability to control that internal battle of the wins and losses, you need to appreciate your own ability to think and be unique. Again, a trader's mindset. People make money by finding themselves, achieving their potential, and getting in tune with themselves so that they can follow the flow of opportunities in the stock market. Again, what that basically says is that your ability to know who you are as a trader and then be able to interact with the market and not look at it as a vendetta against you, but instead, these are the opportunities that I have in front of me, and I'm willing to see the opportunity and apply the right strategies. And our word of the day is going to be the cost of doing business. That's what trading is all about, recognizing the opportunity flow and applying the right strategies, being able to think and be unique, being able to know who you are as a trader. What I like to do as a part of a lot of the training I have, to being a trainer, the trainer meetings that I've been to, where I go learn how to be a trainer. And they talk about this thing called a 3330. And that is when you're at, your friend's house, there's a nice little dinner party going on, music in the bathroom, you got little hors d'oeuvres on your plate, you're at a wedding, who knows where you are, but it's where some adults have gathered for whatever purpose, and you're meeting some new people, and they say, hey, Mike, tell me what you do for a living. And when they say that, usually they're going to give you 3330. They're going to give you 30 seconds. And if you catch their interest, they'll give you from 30 seconds on to 3 minutes. And if you really hold them and you really impact them and you really gain their interest, they'll give you 30 minutes, 3330. Well, Can you tell me who you are as a trader in 30 seconds? Can you tell me who you are as a trader in 3 minutes? And if I darn near give you 30 minutes of my time, can you fill that 30 minutes with who you are as a trader? So many people trade, but they don't trade who they are. So many people trade, but they don't even know who you are. They don't know what their goals, they don't know what their objectives are. So again, we talked about fear is only what we allow. So then a sound mind, that trader's mindset, comes from a person who is able to keep that inner madman under lock and key. And again, this is where that self-sabotage in any of us that have blown out our account, it's really come from that inner madman. We get into that tick by tick battle, a tick in your favor, 4 ticks against you. A tick in your favor, 4 ticks against you. A tick in your favor, 20 ticks against you. Just blowing out your account because the madman in you, instead of following rules, having in criteria, knowing where your risk is, you get into this, I'm going to beat the market. And every time the market gives you a little bit of hope, it's I'm going to beat the market. But it's not about winning and losing the market. It's about the cost of doing business. It's about having a business plan, a trading plan, and understanding that there's going to be trades that work and trades that don't work. That's the cost of doing business. Assets, liabilities. Being able to control that inner madman is really will stop you from blowing out your account. We know that a choice to not make a choice is a choice. Some people are very decisive when it comes to avoiding decisions. And that happens in the stock market. And we're really going to talk about that when we get into our fears. But our first step into conquering our fears is to first understand that, again, as we said before, having a sound mind, being able to lock away our inner madman, and as we talked about before, being able to control the fear. Well, that's all about developing a trader's mindset. This is how we define our interactions with the market. Your trader's mindset is your thought patterns. What do you think about the market? Do you think the market has a vendetta against you? Do you think that the market has tons of opportunity? I just have to find the one for me. Do you think that the market has tons of opportunity? I have to trade all of them. Even that's an inner madman. So how we respond to the events of the market, the stimulus that we get from them, the stimuli that we get from the market, that's our trader's mindset. Do we see how do we perceive the market developing, the chart patterns that we trade, the trading setup, and then even when we recognize it, are we able to pull the trigger? Are we able to implement our system calmly and disciplined, or are we shaking and nervous? Do we see the pattern but we don't pull the trigger? All of that is our trader's mindset. We all basically want to take actions and hope that they will produce desired results. Again, the cost of doing business. We all want to see patterns. We all want to set our criteria in place. And then it's just the cost of doing business. I can do my marketing. I can hire the right people. I can have the right food. And then it's up to the people to want what I'm cooking for them. So I can see the pattern, I can apply the right strategy, and then it's up to the market to tell me yes or no, it's going to work out. You see, our objective is to produce excellence in our trading execution, and it's our trader's mindset that will allow us to do that. So the first step in developing a sound trading mindset is to have a trading plan. I so often ask at all these webinars is how many people have a webinar? How many people have a trading plan? And I would say the majority of people do not. And so basic questions that you're going to have to answer as a part of your trading plan is, how much money do you have? What's your goal? What's your risk tolerance? And how much time do you have? Are you investing enough money for your trading setups? People have trading setups, but they don't have trading systems. They don't have trading plans. They're just looking for patterns they get into and signals to get into trades, but they may not have enough money to trade it. And of course, what's your goal? How much money are you trying to make? And what time frame are you trying to make that? And again, risk tolerance. This is really where the inner madman goes crazy. Risk tolerance is knowing how much you can risk on each trade. But not only is it knowing how much you can risk on each trade, but it's knowing how much you feel comfortable risking. You may know that your account, you've got $100,000 and I can risk $100,000 each trade. I can let it go against me. I can let the heat. But do you feel comfortable with that? That's when you're not comfortable with your system, you're not comfortable with how much heat and how much risk you have to place on a trade. That's when your inner madman comes in and tells you get out. And then it turns around and does what you wanted to do anyway. That's where the inner madman says, oh, hold on, this is going to work. And you blow out your account. And finally, how much time do you have? Are you going to be a day trader, a swing trader, a long-term trader, a short-term trader, however you want to phrase it? That all has to be a part of your trading plan. So, as you can see, the key components for a trading plan is making sure that you have the right amount of capital for the trading setup that you're trading. Also, you have to know the market. If you have a smaller account, you definitely want to look at futures and forex compared to stocks and options. Even though options gives you leverage, but there's not that tick battle. When we were talking about this earlier, I was saying that I started off trading options, but what I hated about options was the delta, the Greeks. I want tick by tick value, and so you want to make sure you have the right amount of money for the trading stuff that you're trading, and then you want to make sure that you're trading the right market and you have the right management strategy. What's my risk to reward ratio? How to feel comfortable with the risk at hand, and understanding the context of the market. Just because the trading setup is there doesn't mean we need to take it. We should have filters by looking at the time of day, and there's so many things, and we cover a lot of this as a part of our pitch package because we have this great 4 webinar series where we really break down what is the true foundation of high probability trading, and we teach you all of this. So I'm getting straight to it. It's something I just spoke about, and that is basically risk management. Can you handle the truth? The first step in risk management is actually acknowledging that there is risk. And this is, again, where the inner madman goes crazy, and not having a trading plan is so crucial because people, A, don't know how much money they're really losing on a day-to-day basis. B, don't realize that, they're risking more than what they're going to make. If you've got a 50 pip stop for only to make 25 pips, you're risking more to make. And so one risk, one loss, one trade that doesn't work out wipes out, 2 or 3 trades that did work out. And then not recognizing that, and then being in denial that, what did I say in my disclosures? No matter what form of investing you choose, stock, forex, futures, options, there is a level of risk associated. You can't lose your money. It's one of the first things I said. And to deny that, and to think that you can have 100% right, and to not understand that, again, the cost of doing business. Some trades just will not work. And you have to be able to acknowledge that and then deal with that. And so, again, can you stand the heat in the kitchen? If you can't stand it, get on out. How much money can you really afford to have at risk on each trade? Not how much can you lose on each trade, but how much do you feel comfortable losing? How much, if you see you open up your profit loss for the day and it's down 1,000, what does that do to your psyche? What does that do to your mindset? Once you learn how to measure your risk and know where you're comfortable, you can manage it. But when you're taking on too much risk, you're trading more than your account size can handle, or you're trading the right size, but your mind can't handle putting out this much risk, then you're allowing that inner madman out. So basically, for every trade, you have to ask yourself, what is the risk of this trade? Where is this trade no longer working? What is the point where, I was buying an uptrend, and when it went against me so many pips or so many through this pattern, it's no longer uptrend, get me out of the trade. And then secondly, what is the reward of this trade? The risk to reward ratio. Once I get in here, I want to get out there. As I said earlier, if my target is 50 pips away, then how much am I willing to risk to earn 50 pips? That's your risk to reward ratio. And so many people have it negative. They're upside down, like mortgages or like car notes. They owe more than what the car's worth. You're risking more than what the target is for that trade. You've got to know these things before you execute a trade. And so many people, again, they're just looking for setups. They're just looking for ways to get into the market, that they're not realizing that the management, the money, the financial numbers of the trading is not working, and that's why you're not successful. Which leads us to the most common trading errors I see out there. Trading without a plan. We mentioned that. taking on too large a position for their account size, experience level, or risk comfort. So many traders I see, especially in the Forex, I'm sorry, in futures, and sometimes in Forex, they're all in. There's no scaling in, there's no position sizing, it's just all in. And then, so when you wipe out account, it's because you're all in. Too much risk at one point in time. Not prepared for a string of losses. We'll talk about more about positive expectancy as we go along. But you lose once, you lose twice, and then your mind starts talking to yourself. Oh man, here's a chart pattern I see, but I lost the last 2 times. And then you don't pull the trigger, and of course that's the home run. Lack of discipline, impatient chasing the market. Oh man, I missed it last time. I missed 2. I lost on 2. I missed it. This one it's 4. I'm in. I'm in. Or not following your rules. I'm supposed to get out here. This is where I said my risk was. This is where I said the trades aren't working. But I'm just going to hold on. I'm going to make an adjustment. And those adjustments usually are based on emotions and not upon facts, not upon the data that you see in front of you. And I can tell you, you rarely ever make any money when you make emotional decisions. So the first step to overcoming our fears is developing a trader's mindset through a documented trading plan. And that's a key thing there, and we'll talk more about it. But it's not just having a trading plan, but you got to document it. You've got to know the numbers. But even when you have a trading plan and you don't have the setups, but you actually have a plan, you still have fears. We all have fears. And anybody tells you they don't have any emotions about trading, they're lying. But what that doesn't mean is that we can't get over those fears. So right here, I have the first 4 of those fears of trading. First one is fear of uncertainty. That usually brings about hesitation, and it's, okay, you see the trade starting to set up, you start to notice the pattern, the indicators, whatever it is that you're trading set up, and boom, the signal comes off, and you hesitate. And so many symbols, especially when you're trading a day trader or a micro trader, you don't get second entries. You have to trade it right, or you're not going to get to trade it at all. And so that uncertainty, because you haven't documented, you haven't developed positive expectancy, you hesitate and you don't take the trade. What about fear of loss and that you can't pull the trigger? The last time I followed this setup, I took a loss. I don't want to take another one. You haven't documented your trading plan, so you don't have positive expectancy, so you don't know that over time this is going to work out, and so you don't pull the trigger. And the impulse trading, that's fear of missing out. Oh man, last time I didn't get filled, so I'm gonna put this in a little bit early because I want to make sure I get filled. And because the pattern never develops, you never get confirmation, and then boom, wipe out because you jumped in instead of waiting for that final confirmation. What about urgency? You know what? Revenge trading. How many times have you taken a loss and you just got right back in the market because you wanted to make that money back, or you needed to make that money back because you're trading too much and you need that money back, or you won't have any money the next day? These are the 4 big ones. We got 5 more to go, but be honest. Where are you at on this? Which ones really affect your trading? And again, I've said it a moment ago, and I'm going to continue to say it. The biggest thing I can tell you to really overcome these fears is documentation. If you've documented and you know your numbers, when I trade this trading setup, 70% of the time I'm going to work out, then it can help you overcome all of this. You've got rules, you've got statistics that let you know that your rules work, and then therefore you can work. But how many people backtest? How many people paper trade, virtual trade? How many people document their trading? Not just I know how much money I make, but you know your percentages, and you know at this time of the day, when I trade this setup, I'm going to win 8 out of 10 times. Therefore, I don't have to worry about missing out. I don't have to worry about that I took a loss. I know the next 8 are going to work for me. Even if I take 2 in a row, the next 8 are going to work for me because that's what the statistics tell me. What about the fear of not being right? Remember, our word of the day, our phrase of the day is the cost of doing business. Trading is about the cost of doing business. It's not about being right. It's not about being wrong. It's not about vendettas. It's not about a battle between you and the market. It's about finding setups that work for you, that you document, that you find out work for you in your system, and you know work for your account size. And therefore, when the patterns develop, they get confirmed, you enter the trade. It's cost of doing business. Either you made money or you lose money. It's not about being right or wrong. And then when you're worried about being right or wrong, that's all about inadequacy. Have I studied enough? Have I prepared enough to really make money trading this? I'm just starting out on Forex. Am I ready? I just started trading futures. Am I ready? I'm not sure. Maybe I need to read some more things off of Google and find some more gurus to follow. I don't know. I need somebody. I'm gonna read this newsletter. I need some more information. Uh, the big one, self-sabotage. I've got rules. I've got rules. To heck with the rules. Ignoring all the rules and blowing out your account. And again, the best way I've seen that happen are people who get in a tick by tick battle. 2 ticks in your favor, 5 ticks against you. Hoping just to, if I, Lord, if I just let me break even. Just let me break even, please, Lord. If I just lose $100, Lord, please. If I'm just down 250, oh my goodness, I just blew up my account. What about not sure? Fear of success and failure. Remember what we said earlier? The Holy Grail is in your ability to deal with both wins and losses. Some people have fear. Some people get greedy, and they overload their trading. They ignore the rules, and because they had a couple of winning trades, they go all in instead of scaling like they were doing before. Or sometimes because they've lost last time, instead of doing 3 contracts, they only do 1 because, well, I don't want to I don't want to lose 3 contracts. And again, when you do those things, when you change the numbers, when you manipulate and make your emotional adjustments, you change your numbers. And therefore, what you're training may not work because you change the numbers. And of course, change. Fear of change. Again, I'll say the key to all of this, documentation. Know who you are as a trader. Know where you want to go as a trader. Document, know your statistics. I shared before. The best example I can give you are right now ESPN's doing the November 9, the professional Texas Hold'em traders, and when you ever watch that, they always show you the percentages. They'll let you know when it's down to 2 or 3 people. They'll let you know this person has 70% of winning. This person has. That's because professional gamblers know it's about the numbers. It's a race, 50-50. Oh, I'm up 3-1. Trading's the same way. If you know your numbers, then you can go all in. I'm not saying all in, but I'm just saying you can pull the trigger when you know your numbers. So you have to understand how you make your decisions. Are you a fear? Do you make your decisions based off the fears, those 9 fears we just talked about? Do you impulse decisions or do you make rules? So by documenting and by knowing our statistics, we have our rules for getting us into the trades. You see, in our mind, there's 2 conversations going on about what you're seeing in the market. That's that internal dialogue going on, telling you about, and usually one voice is one of those 9 fears, and the other voice, hopefully, is the disciplined you that's putting that other voice under lock and key. So many of us crucify ourselves between the 2 thieves of regret and of our past, and they're fearful of the future. That's that internal voice going on. Remember what happened the last time? Yeah, I know what happened the last time, but my stats, my documentation tells me that this time is going to be fine. That doesn't mean that it's going to work every time. Doesn't mean that we don't have to make adjustments, but it does mean that we have it documented so that we know. You see, so many people spend time looking for that magical indicator, that fancy dancy trading system, versus looking at themselves. Your problem as a trader is not the indicators, not the system, because 9 times out of 10 they all work. What doesn't work is how you're trading them. And as I said, when you change them, if it requires a 100% stop and you're only giving a 50, you change the system. You have a choice of looking for more external reasons on why your trading's not working, or you can deal with you internally and overcome your fears and document and really become a professional trader by knowing your rules and following your rules. You see, when the market is developing, we basically do a couple things. As we talked about earlier, one of the fears of inadequacy is trying to get more information. And so you're on Google and you're looking for indicators, trading systems, gurus. You're looking for more and more information, trying to find that special setup, trying to find that special indicator. And you just get on this circle doing the same thing over and over again. But we all know that's the definition of insanity. And we really haven't changed anything. And so the question is, when you're on Google, what have you done that's going to make you better perceive the market, decide and act better about the market? And a new indicator is not going to help you decide better. You may perceive things differently, but you still have to have the psychological capital, the trader's mindset, to pull the trigger on the trade. When we think about being a successful trader, we have to have habits that we do in the morning before the market opens, habits that we do when the market is open. Remember, we talked about for every trade, you must ask the risk-reward ratio, and we have to prepare for at the end of the market. When the market is closed, we have to go through a routine. We get our watch list together, and then we wake up in the morning and we see what the sentiment of the market is. We know what the news is coming out, and then we trade based upon that. We make adjustments intraday. All of this, understanding the rules, understanding our trader's mindset, gives us an edge. And there's basically 5 ways I like to define our edge. What market are you going to trade? Forex, stock, futures, options. Your trading setup, that's your structure edge. What setups are you going to actually trade? And knowing your risk-reward ratio of those trading setups. And that falls into our accuracy. Again, when we document it, we know what is our percentage of winners. And then monetarily, we know, because we know our risk-reward ratio, we know that the money we make for our winners are going to outweigh the money we're going to lose on our losers. And then finally, most importantly, our edge is our trader's mindset. Again, our perceptions of the market, what we think about the market, and then our ability to enact our trading plan is our trader's mindset. And that's what allows us to be successful and, again, define and follow our edge. Because basically, a successful trader is one that's entered upon based upon rules and criteria, regardless of the outcome. Again, the cost of doing business. If you know your setups, if you know your trading plan, and if you have it documented, then regardless of the outcome, it's a good trade. Traders trade because they have a purpose. They have an edge, not because the market is open. And they have the ability to recognize the difference between high and low risk trading. And we talk a lot about this part here, again, in our PITS package, because we, again, have not only do we give you our signals and our Forex signals each day, but we also give you the training to develop that trader's mindset to follow not only our signals, but your own. Again, understanding context of the market, understanding your edge is key to being a high probability trader, and it's key to overcoming your fears. Understanding context, having documented, and knowing what you know, knowing your rules, and knowing your criteria that you're going to follow, and having a trader's mindset to find that, and being able to talk yourself through all these questions is how we become a high probability trader, which is how we overcome our rules. But rules are not enough. Ron Anari, he's a famous option trader, talks about, and I said this earlier, true successful traders identify opportunities in the market and apply the right strategy. Sometimes we'll see a trading setup, but it's not the right time of day. It's not the right sentiment. There's something going on. Sometimes you got to let your intuition come in. Now, I know that might be saying, Michael, you just spent however long talking about rules and following those rules. There is a place for your intuition, but it's secondary to the rules. In the end, it doesn't make a difference if you get that new indicator, that new trading system, if you recognize high probability trading, if you don't pull the trigger. And as we said, the key to all of that is documentation. And documentation will give us positive expectancy. Consciously building a model that will alter your mindset in such a way to create positive feedback loops. A trader can gain confidence and learn to manage both winning and losing trades because they have it documented and they know, hey, I practiced this and I know 8 out of 10 trades, 7 out of 10 trades are going to work because I have it documented. And that builds psychological capital and it gives me positive expectancy for my trading. How do we overcome our fears? First and foremost, recognize and acknowledge your fears. Develop a trading plan and then practice, practice, practice. So right now I have to ask, what's holding you back? Have you have a trading plan? Do you have a trading plan? Have you documented? Do you know your stats? Do you have your 3330? Do you know who as a trader, who you want to be as a trader? All of these things we can help you through our PIPS package, and that's what we're here. Traderscultures.com/PIPS/pack. We got a great first, we have great different payment plans, and secondly, again, it's not just about the symbols, the signals. We send out signals, but we also have webinar series where we bring you together and we give you that trader's mindset, and we help you build this system that will help you overcome your fears. Thanks, guys, and I hope I see you at the next Traders Cultures webinar.